Okay. Jangan bagi lantas negara hari dalam spiritual. You can recite this together with me on your side. Don't have to unmute. So just offer your prayers to our spiritual teachers. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Please join me. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama.
Hare Hare.
Thank you. Om Tat Sat. Okay, so I did not send you the list of reading. I totally forgot about it. I went out and I came back just on time. So can we have somebody read the introduction extract? Okay, let me call the name first. Yeah, Vijay Prabhu, Vijay Bharat Prabhu. How do I call you, Prabhu? Bharat or Vijay?
Nice. Anything also again?
Okay, Vijay Prabhu, I go by your name here. Okay, Prabhu.
Arjuna was in a relationship with the Lord as friend. Of course, there is a gulf of difference between this friendship and the friendship found in the material world. This is transcendental Lord friendship, which cannot be had by everyone. Of course, everyone has a particular relationship with the Lord, and that relationship is evoked by the perfection of the devotional service. But in the present status of our life, not only have we forgotten the Supreme Lord, but we have forgotten our eternal relationship with the Lord.
Okay, continue, Prabhu.
Every living being out of the many billions and trillions of living beings has a particular relationship with the Lord eternally. That is called Swarupa. By the process of devotional service, one can revive that Swarupa. And that stage is called Swarupa Siddhi, perfection of one's constitutional position. So Arjuna was a devotee and he was in touch with the Supreme Lord in friendship.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So everyone, we all had, like, I think last week we saw, right? Previous week we saw 5 kinds of relationship. Okay, so before that, yeah, okay, fine. Okay, so everybody has 5 kinds of relationship with Krishna. So in Arjuna and Krishna's example, Arjuna's relationship with Krishna is based on friendship. Okay, but however, it is mentioned here that it is not like an ordinary material world friendship. This is called transcendental friendship. Okay. All right. So usually in this material world, every relationship will have a lot of issues, like there's a lot of fights, complications, relationship issues. Okay. Mother-in-law, daughter-in-law issues. Okay. A father-in-law, son-in-law issues. Okay. Siblings issues. Okay. Even friends will have issues. Okay, so everybody thinks at some point, people think that their position is God, they are the controller, so they try to control each other. Okay, so with Krishna, the relationship is different. Okay, it can't be broken. The relationship that we have with Krishna can't be broken. So everyone can have a personal and direct relationship with Krishna. in any of these 5 rasas? Okay, anybody can recall what are the 5 kinds of relationship? First question for the day. Let's wake up a bit. Very good. Parents, Vatsalya, conjugal lover, Madhurya, friend, yes. 2 more.
Devotee.
What is that, Prabhu? What relationship a devotee has? I mean, they are all devotees. This parent, conjugal lover, friend, they are all devotees. But what kind of relationship is that? Loving Krishna as a friend, loving Krishna as a conjugal lover, loving Krishna as a parent, loving Krishna in a passive state, which is santaras or neutral. Okay, active state. What is active state? This is the most important. Dasya. Dasya means servant. Okay. All right. So most of us are on Dasya Ras. We are aspiring servant. Okay. Aspiring servant. Who is the epitome of servant? In this, there's 9 devotional service, right? Dasya Ras. No, Ambarish is not. He's not. He engaged all his senses. That's an example we give Ambarish. Hanuman, yes, Lord Hanuman. Very good, correct. Okay, right. So, originally in the spiritual world, all of us have a specific relationship with Krishna. But how do we know what particular relationship we have with Krishna? Only our Guru can reveal. Okay, so this is not the topic for the day. So only the Guru can tell us. All right. And this original relationship that we have with Krishna is called Swarupa Siddhi. Okay, this is the original relationship with Krishna. Okay, some are Gopas and Gopis, parents. We could be grass, trees, or flowers in Vrindavan, because in Goloka Vrindavan, everything is alive. Okay, everything serves Krishna. Okay, so that's introduction, talking about relationship. So Arjuna was a devotee and he was in touch with the Supreme Lord. So this is a Swarupa. Okay, so with that, we are entering chapter 3. The difference between chapter 3, between our level 1 and level 2, these are the differences. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We covered 7 verses level 1. We have extra verses in level 2. Some of it are the ones highlighted are revisions. Okay, all right. So let's look at, I think there is an overview here. So this chapter will start with Arjuna asking a question to Krishna. Which is better, renunciation or work? And why? Okay. Next, Krishna will go on to explain what is Niskama Karma Yoga. So if you can remember, we have touched all of these topics that we're going to cover today in chapter 2. Okay, in a condensed, which is like touch and go only. So this is why Arjuna in confusion, it's like everywhere, Krishna, can you please give me the outline nicely, like systematically? So that is the purpose of the chapter 3 and the subsequent chapters. So how to do Nishkama Karma Yoga? Okay, so we're going to see that. Generally it means it's working with knowledge and detachment. So it's not only working with just knowledge, but you also have detachment. So this is Sambam Bonam of Nishkama Karma Yoga. Okay, you would remember what is Karma Kanda. So I hope you all are able to recall. What is Karma Kanda? Can I have a quick answer from somebody? I think this, like, we have been touching this term like third already. Yes, Prabhu.
A fruitive reaction.
Fruitive is correct.
Consequences of each action.
Working with fruitive reactions. Okay. Fruitive actions. Yes, actions. Yeah, fruitive actions or activities. Activities that give us fruit. Okay. And where can we learn how to do this Karma Kanda?
Varnasrama system.
Which scripture, Prabhu? Where can we get this guideline to perform Karma Kanda? From where we can get this guide to do Karma Kanda? How to do karma yoga? We are referring to Bhagavad Gita. How to do karma kanda? Where do we refer to? Okay, none of the senior students are here, but anyway, I touched it in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, meaning the entire Vedas. All the 4 Vedas, they are talking about karma kanda. Okay, they're talking about karma kanda, upasana kanda, and jnana kanda. Okay, and what are they going? What is the purpose of the Vedas? The 4 things: artha, kama,
So the artha, kama,
something, and moksha. Karma and moksha, is it? Artha,
Dharma and moksha.
dharma. I don't know why it is dharma always. Dharma, correct. Okay, very good. Okay, so yeah, as we're touching on this, right? Thanks, Prabhu. I was hearing Prabhupada's lecture 2 days back. I think, I mean, it's good that we have this habit of hearing, listening. So the way Prabhupada explained is that a person, okay, you can look at this answer that Asaradan Prabhu put in the chat, yeah, artha, kama, dharma, and moksha. These are the goals achieved by following the Vedas, following the injunctions of the Vedas. So you can go to Vedas to fulfill your material needs, that is artha. Okay, and then you can fulfill your desires, that is kama. And then you can also learn how to execute certain things or be righteous or virtuous by following the Vedas. But these are all material benediction that you can get from the Vedas. But ultimately, a person who has perfected this artha, kama, moksha, or satisfied all these 3 items, right? Then they will come to a position whereby they don't want this anymore. They are done with it. And then they will go to aim for moksha. So this is the elevation that the Vedic injunctions provide us. So this is the ladder that a person who are Vedic followers, this is how they advance. Okay. All right, so that's just a little bit of sidetrack because I wanted to share that when you share something that you hear, you remember better. So we would like to help each other here. If you have heard something and you want to remember it, you can feel free to share in the class. Okay. Okay, so that's right. Okay, from karma kanda to karma yoga. If you can recall, in chapter 2, Krishna already touched. Karma kanda is fine, Arjuna. You want to have your enjoyment, you can do this. If you fight and die, you will go to heavenly planets, you'll enjoy. If you fight and win, you're going to enjoy the kingdom. So in that way, you can follow karma kanda to seek the enjoyment. Okay, and while we are at it, this is also another point that I heard from Prabhupada today. Prabhupada said there are 2 kinds of enjoyment that Arjuna was concerned about. One, having the kingdom and not being able to enjoy the victory with people because people will die, right? That's one enjoyment which we were covering in the past few weeks, ever since level 1. Number 2 is, it is a nature for someone to show off, right? To show off to our relatives and friends of the achievements and opulence and wealth that we have. So if you do not have people to show it off, then what is the meaning of the achievement? So that this could be another concern for Arjuna, why he feels like, what is the point me winning the kingdom when I cannot enjoy it? All right, so this is another perspective, look at it. And we are on this material platform that we have the tendency to think that I need this community to show off what I have achieved, what I have accomplished. Okay, so this is a thinking on the material platform. Okay, Mataji. All right, so from karma, and then later Krishna said, okay, that is all fine, but let's look about activity that will not give you any reaction. Let's not talk about heavenly planet. Let's not talk about the enjoyment of the kingdom and everything. Let's talk about doing the duty, but not having reactions by detaching ourselves from the fruit. All right, so I hope you all can jog your memory a bit, linking chapter 2 and chapter 3, because we're going to focus on karma yoga today. All right, so we will touch on cycle of sacrifice. Okay, so if you remember the rain and sacrifice to the devas, all that, okay, we will look at that today. And why it is important for a person, for somebody, okay, even however great that person is, to perform niskama karma to set for example. Sorry. Okay, just silence our phones. Okay, put it face down so we don't get distracted. Okay, Niskama Karma, to set correct example. And there is one important segment in chapter 3, but we are not able to cover this neither in level 1 or level 3. You can read. You can read on your own. If you have any questions, then you can ask. Okay. So I think this one we cover this detail in detail in level 3. So probably that's why they did not put in level 1 and level 2. Okay, now, so this chapter starts with Arjuna asking a question to Krishna. Okay, we will look at the verse, but we want to know what is the basis for Arjuna to ask this question. Arjuna asks if it's better to be situated in knowledge or to work, as if two were opposed to each other. So first thing you might want to know why Arjuna is asking this question. All right. I think I am pretty clear by why Arjuna is very confused now. Now he's confusing me. If you think like that. So we go back to the 3 verses that we covered in level 2. Yeah. So if you remember this verse. Okay, I hope you all can see this. Yeah. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Okay. Ring a bell, right? You can recall your memory. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities. Okay, we are not the doer, all right? Never be attached to not doing a duty. Oh, I don't want to do the duty because it's going to give me reactions. It's going to cause me bondage. I don't want to do duty. So this is a wrong conception. This is number 1. Next verse. Krishna is saying, perform your duty equipoised, O Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Okay, do your duty. You don't have to think about whether you're going to win or lose. And that situation you are in, that position is called yoga. You are undisturbed. Come whatever may, I am performing my duty. So this is the second one. Okay. Third one. Krishna says this also. This is where Arjuna probably got confused. Oh, Dhananjaya, keep all abominable activities far distant by devotional service. Do your service and keep all the bad activities at bay. And in that consciousness, surrender unto the Lord. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. This is where Arjuna probably got confused, because earlier Krishna said, do your duty, give up the fruits, okay? And in that performance of the duty, do not think about win or lose, okay? Do not enjoy your fruit and keep the bad activities away. So this is the question. So now we will enter the first verse, okay? Okay, can we have Jayashini Mataji? Mataji, are you ready? I think you just came in.
Hi, Mataji. Thank you. Yes, I am ready. The first text, yes?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, the English.
Arjuna said, O Janandana, O Kesava, why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare if you think that intelligence is better than fruitive work?
Thank you, Mataji. So can you see here? Arjuna thinks this ghastly warfare is abominable. So he's thinking, earlier you say knowledge, then you say detached. Now you're asking me to fight. So why? If knowledge is so important, if I can just do service with my knowledge, why I want to fight, right? Hold on, yeah. Okay, welcome. Okay, so this is where Krishna will start answering. Let's okay, what Arjuna is trying to do here is that okay, now Krishna said I should avoid abominable activities. I think I should not fight because that is easier. I don't want all these politics games. Okay, I don't want to see who's winning, who's losing. I just want to wash hands and I just want to go. And then I can just go and sit in a cave or mountain and then just surrender myself to the Lord and do meditation whatsoever. Means Arjuna is talking about renunciation. So Arjuna was surprised. Why you want me to fight if intelligence is better than fruitive work? Okay, so I'm not going to enjoy the fruit anyway, so why should I fight? Since it's abominable, I can just sit down, I avoid all politics. But Krishna is saying fight. But Krishna is saying it is not being inactive. All right, so let's look at another revision sloka. Okay, I hope you all have gone through your PDF before coming in. Okay, that's why I'm not going very detailed into these verses. Yeah. Okay, 3.2. Kritika Mataji.
My intelligence is bewildered by your equivocal instructions. Therefore, please tell me decisively which will be most beneficial for me.
Okay, so let's recap a little bit. Yeah, in the previous chapter, thank you, Mataji. So in the previous chapter, as the prelude, right, in the beginning, many different parts were explained. Can you all tell me what are the fields that Krishna actually touched before this? So we need to recap this all the time, so you will be able to link it. So don't think I'm asking the same question again and again. Tell me. Sankhya. Sankhya, very good. Yes, Sankhya is Jnana Yoga, very good. Okay, so that's done. What else? What yoga Krishna touched in chapter 2? Okay, yes. What else? Okay, that's Karma Kanda, Buddhi Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, Buddhi Yoga. Very good. Did Krishna touch Karma Yoga already? Did he? Did he not? Did he not? Who has the answer? Yes. Okay, yeah? So itulah summary-nya. Okay, very good. So good to jog the memory a little bit. Okay, Sankhya Yoga, Buddhi Yoga, control of the senses by intelligence. Then Karma Yoga, work without fruitive desires. Okay, then later Krishna told Arjuna, detach from result. Okay, Buddhi Yoga is very close to Karma Yoga and also devotional yoga. It's like very thin line in between. So most of the time, Prabhupada related Buddhi Yoga to devotional service. Okay. All right. So Arjuna, by using his intelligence, he thinks that he should avoid all the abominable activities and not fight. Yet Arjuna thinks Krishna is urging me to fight. So for Arjuna, all this, right, it has been presented unsystematically. Is anybody on the same boat? Right? So he feels like he needs a more organized outline of the path and finds that is necessary for his action and understanding. Sometimes you're like that, right? Everything is given in one go. Then we want to organize it. So we do la mind map, chart, table, like that, right? So now Arjuna wants to clear up this apparently confusing matters. So any common man for us, it's actually for us, any common man could accept them without interpretation. Which yoga, Prabhu? Mataji, Karma Yoga and Buddhi Yoga, right? Yeah, we will come to that. Okay. So Buddhi Yoga is actually sometimes Prabhupada use alternate. He will alternate this term, Buddhi Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Buddhi basically is intelligence. Okay. Yeah. Right, so Buddhi means intelligence. So earlier you do Karma Kanda, you just want benefits. Okay, Buddhi Yoga is like a transitioning to Karma Yoga, and then it advances to Bhakti Yoga. Okay, so this is a start, like a stepping stone, like that. So in the Astanga Yoga, you don't see Buddhi Yoga like that. All right, but Krishna used Buddhim here. Okay, I think he has also used this word here, is it? Yeah, here. Durena hi avaram karma. Karma means work. Avaram means bad activities. Durena, keep it far. In what way? How? Buddhi Yoga. Here, Buddhi Yoga is translated as devotional service. Buddha, Sharanam Andicha. In that consciousness, you surrender to me. Kripana Phala Hevata. Phala means fruit. Kripana means misery. So those who want to enjoy the Phala is called Kripana. Okay, miseries. Okay, all right, let's move on to the subsequent sloka. Okay, so 3.1, 3.2 is basically a revision. So Arjuna is asking question because he's confused. Okay, so now from 3.3 to 3.9, Krishna will explain Nishkama Karma Yoga. So there is Sakama Karma Yoga and there is Niskama Karma Yoga. Okay, Niskama Karma Yoga means work for the offer the fruit of the work for satisfaction of Krishna. This is Niskama Karma Yoga. Okay, this is work combined with knowledge and detachment, not only knowledge. Okay, it is also detachment from the fruits of our activities. Nishkama Karma Yoga allows the soul, because the soul is always active. Our senses are always active. So we cannot refrain from doing anything. We cannot abstain ourselves from doing things, moving about, speaking, eating and working. We cannot do that. So what is the best that Krishna is suggesting here in this chapter? You can go about doing your things, but do it in a way that your senses are purified. How will that be done? You do your work, but you're detached. Your mind is detached. Okay. So why I keep saying this? Because it will enter our mind, and along the way, you will see how detached gradually you will be in your daily life. Sometimes we want to physically or mentally control things. So as you progress in these lessons, right? And the important part of this Bhagavad Gita lesson is you will have to apply it. If you do not apply it, you will never relish the nectar of this philosophy, this knowledge. You have to apply it. You have to apply it. You have to practice it. Practice. Okay, and then you will perceive. You will perceive it. It's directly perceivable. Okay, so trust me and apply this in your life. Okay, and if you see any improvement, please share with us. Okay. All right, so let's move on to another revision sloka. Lakshmi Mataji.
Okay. The personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna said, not by merely abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction, nor by renunciation alone one can attain perfection.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So running through this verse. So Lord Krishna is explaining to Arjuna, don't think because you don't work, you're not going to get karma. Okay, this is a very simple statement, right? Don't think by not working, you're not going to get karma, because Arjuna is so worried about that. Okay, you are still going to get karma either when you do the duty, looking at karma kanda, right? You do the duty, you're going to get actions. If you don't do your duty, also you're going to get action. But the sin is when you do not perform the duty that you're supposed to do. Okay, so Lord Krishna says, you may renounce, but that is not a perfection. It is called immature renunciation. It will not make you perfect, because Arjuna has not completed his, he has not fulfilled the purpose of his life. Okay, all right. So Arjuna was thinking, if I renounce my work, give up this fighting work, that would be great. Okay, there will be no blood in my hand, right? But Krishna says that's not good at all. Okay, later we will see, we will see how gradually. Okay, oh, let's talk about this one. So this guy, you see here, he's sitting down thinking that if I do work, I'm going to get karma. It's better that I don't do anything. I'm just going to sit here, do nothing. So why there's an end picture here? Did I bring this picture in level 1? Do you all remember? Anybody remember? Saras Mataji, did we touch this in our level 3? Anybody can relate what is this ant about? Ah, Kritika Mataji. Come, Mataji, please tell me, what is this ant doing here?
Sorry, Mataji, I thought you asked like, was this in the level 1 slides? So I just looked. Yes, it is there, but I don't remember what
Don't
is it
remember
about.
the story. Okay. The ant was in separate slide. Ah, yes, Mataji. Oh, wow, you remember. So please tell me, what was it? Oh, wow, very good. Correct. That's right. Anything else? What else? In what other activity that we would be probably killing living entities without us knowing? I know this few classes, so I don't know which class I gave which example, but I definitely gave some bugs as example. Anybody? Come, let me hear your sweet voice. Lakshmi Mataji, would you like to? Dasaratham Prabhu, please share. Sweeping, very good. What else? Did I tell my grandma story? I have a lot of grandma stories in my class.
While walking, Mataji.
Yeah, walking. You no matter how much we try to not step on anything, you will never know how many living entities we are killing. All right, some more. Breathing and walking. Yeah, my grandma's story is about breathing. Okay, some more. Sweeping. No matter what happens, since there's 8+ million species, there are a lot of tiny things on the floor and we step on them all the time. Yeah, so you might be thinking that we are not doing any actions that are knowingly harming people, but we are always harming living entities when breathing. Okay, my grandma's story probably I can tell again. I think in this class I didn't tell code. By driving, very good. Yeah. There's one time I saw a bug in my food and I made a big fuss about it. And my grandma said, you don't know how one mutter bugs I am breathing when you're breathing. So don't make a fuss about it. Then I thought, oh, wow, there can be such tiny microorganisms around us like that. Okay, so by driving, yeah, that's true. Okay, so this guy is sitting thinking that I don't need to do anything, so I won't get reactions, but we don't know. Even while we're sitting or standing or stepping, we could be killing living entities. Okay, so that is why even when we call ourselves vegetarian, it's not so great because during the the crops and raising these crops and cultivation of these, right? So there's a lot of pesticides involved, so we'll be killing a lot of pests, right? So all the food have, no matter how lower conscious food that we are taking, okay, we are saying that animals are higher conscious and they have more pain and they go to trauma when we slaughter them. So let's just eat vegetable. So we think that vegetable is not running away, so it is okay. Yeah, it is okay because it's not as, the consciousness are not as developed as the animals. Okay, so we have to eat, somehow we have to eat, right? And Krishna has said you can eat these 4 items. All right, but to cultivate these vegetables for our survival also include killings, right? So what do? There's always some residues of karmic reactions in the food that we eat. That is why we have to offer that to Krishna. Okay, for his senses also, not only as Krishna as the purificatory agent. So we should not do it in that consciousness. Okay, we are doing it out of love because when we partake of that, and it becomes a karma-free food. Okay, later we'll talk about sacrifice. What happens if we do not eat something that is not offered? Okay, because we are going to take all the reactions that has been involved in cultivating these crops. Okay, I mean, we won't be covering that in detail, but Krishna will talk about the sacrifice, cycle of sacrifice. Okay, okay, I want you to help me. Yes, okay, this is a good question. Actually, I covered this in my classes before. How we say sorry for all these things, like while we walk and breathe. So you remember the part that, again, I don't know if I covered this in the class. When you pour water to a tree, where do you pour? Leaf separately, flower separately, branches, trunk separately? No, we pour water to the trunk. So, sorry, the root. So the entire tree will be nourished. Okay, I think this is level 3. All right. So similarly, when we offer our service to Krishna, then all the needs, all the duty that we have to perform towards all the living entities will be fulfilled. Okay, that is one. Number 2, when we do devotional service to Krishna, we are purifying our senses. We are offering the food. All our money that we earn is spent in Krishna conscious way, in a spiritual way. Our earnings are purified. All right, so our entire life will be going through a purificatory process. There will be some karmic reactions, but Krishna says at the end of chapter 18.66, Krishna says, just surrender unto me and I will deliver you from all the sinful reaction. And that covers Sivaranjani Mataji's question. Okay, satisfied? Is it comforting? Yes. Right, so this is the only way. Otherwise, we are bound to reap the reactions. Okay. Soil. What is soil, Mataji? Soil. Were you trying to say something, Mataji? Probably the message came late. Okay, so we move on. All right, so this is an interesting picture here. Anybody would like to decode what this picture about? Ignore it. Okay, we'll do that. Okay. Tell me, you can speak or you can put in the chat. What can you decipher here? What do you see? Pretentious. Okay, what else? Give me more. Being his own self, not pretending. Okay, now which is the own self and which is pretending? Okay, let's get that clear. Dasaratha Prabhu. Which one is his self and which is pretending? Prabhu. Anyone else? Smoking is being himself. Modern sadhu. This modern sadhu have a kamandulu, not using, water bottle. He's not able to disguise behind the appearance, so-called appearance. Okay, so basically, a sadhu is somebody who has relinquished all their material duties. Could it be that he does not practice well? Immature renunciation. This is exactly what Krishna is talking about. Okay, he is not ready. If a person who is already ready to be a sadhu or sannyasi or ascetic life, taking up ascetic life, they should be having very simple life. Very simple clothing. The kamandulu is required because there's a water bottle. Okay, and what else? He's got some ring on his finger. He's got cigarette. Not even the traditional smoking. This one is modern cigarette, and he's got a phone. Okay, I think this picture is old. You can see that handphone is a bit old. Okay, yeah. So what? Let's see what Krishna has to say about this person. Yeah. Prasanna Mataji. Mataji is not well, so let's hope Mataji gets well soon. Sasireka Mataji. Mataji is not here. Sivaranjani Mataji.
One who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So those who use this word pretender, you are right. Krishna is saying that exactly. Okay, so from this picture, from this verse, Krishna is describing, you may stop work, but in your mind, you will be still thinking about things that you have not done, things that you have potentially would have enjoyed. Your opportunity cost, you know what is opportunity cost? When you're doing something, what are you losing there? That is your opportunity cost. The cost that you are incurring by missing that particular opportunity. Okay, this is the economics term. So these are the things that you're thinking on potential enjoyment that you are missing. So this is cheating ourselves, and we are also cheating others. So Lord Krishna calls such people as pretender, pretending to be giving up material pleasures, but in his mind, he has so much of attachment to that pleasures. Okay, so this is dangerous. Krishna is asking us to be honest and be straightforward. So you rather go about executing your daily activities, but do it in a way that it is purifying our senses and our existence. Okay, so we are every day, we are incurring some reaction without us knowing. So we have to purify that. And these are the steps, the 9 devotional services. Okay, these are the steps. And finally, 18.66, please jot down somewhere. This is the ultimate goal of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. All right, so Krishna is describing about mithyachara. Mithyachara means people who make show, but they are very far from self-realization. Okay, so this is a smoking Baba. He's actually restraining action. He's probably living at the confluence of some holy rivers or the bank of some holy rivers, but he still wants to enjoy some things, some material things. And his mind is dwelling in that sense. So don't know what don't know what he's talking on, or who is it talking to, we don't know. Okay, so we always remember we have sense and then there are sense objects. I am renounced, but my mind is still dwelling on that. So this is called hypocrite. Okay, so we don't want to be a hypocrite. We don't want to live to the forest and think what is happening at home, in my community, in my country. So Arjuna is being advised this way, that there is no point that you go and renounce and sit somewhere, but you're thinking what's happening in the war, what has happened in the war, who has won the war, where the kingdom has gone to. So these are all the possibilities that Krishna could foresee if Arjuna does premature renunciation. So are we ready for that? We are not. Okay, it's not impossible, it's possible, but it is hard for people like us. Arjuna is a householder, just like all of us. Okay, all right. So this is about detachment. Okay, that is a story, just a small story. This is a devotee who went to complain to Prabhupada because he was given an assignment to preach in some countries. So when he went there, he was with his orange clothes and everything. So people started paying obeisance to him. So when people paid obeisance to him, he comes back to Prabhupada and say, Prabhupada, I don't like this. Everywhere I go, people are bowing down to me. Then Prabhupada said, oh, don't be silly. They are not bowing down to you. They are bowing down to what you are representing, probably the Guru or Krishna or the philosophy. So they are bowing down to what you represent, not you. So we don't want to get puffed up with that. Okay. So this is the point. People, when they see you in a certain position, in an orange saffron cloth, so they know what kind of person you are, what do you represent. So we don't want to cheat people. All right. And they know that this kind of people, they are attached, they are detached from the material world. So these are all the opinions and impression that people have on sadhu like people. Okay, so we don't want to make sure and do this. Okay, all right. So that is called actual renunciation. They renounce everything and they go around and preach and just do everything for the ultimate pleasure of Guru and Krishna, not for self, no fame, name, fame, and glory. Okay, so let's move on.
Madam, is this a complete renunciation, the previous picture?
This one?
Yeah.
Complete
So
renunciation?
the next one.
Okay.
The next one. Yeah.
Complete renunciation.
But the two gentlemen there, they have hair at the top, but the third one doesn't have the hair at the
actually
top.
this is not, actually I don't know why they put this picture. This is actually devotee, probably it's just a normal devotee. I think they're talking about the person who's in orange.
Only the saffron, no? Yeah.
Yeah, it's either they are sannyasi or vanaprastha. Definitely not the white one. The white one could be still a gruhasta, married, still in the householder life.
Thank you.
Okay, so can we have somebody to read this? This is I think it's an extract of purport from 3.8. Okay, let me see.
I'll just read then.
Okay, Jane.
Lord Krishna did not want Arjuna to become a pretender. Rather, the Lord desired that Arjuna perform his prescribed duties as set forth for Kshatriyas. Arjuna was a householder and a military general, and therefore it was better for him to remain as such and perform his religious duties as prescribed for the householder Kshatriya. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Can we, is anybody having Bhagavad Gita in your hand? I would like out with reading text 8, please.
I have Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, please read text only. Text 8 translation.
Okay. Perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work.
Yes, so thank you, Mataji. So here Krishna is acknowledging and admitting, acknowledging and confirming that we cannot even maintain our physical body without work. So how is it possible that we could be without, we could remain without doing any actions? So that is not possible. Okay, so that is a fact. Okay, so now the question here is this one, yeah. How do we know there's a question asked to, I think it's a question asked to my Guru Maharaj. How do we know if we are doing karma yoga or bhakti yoga? So the difference is like this, yeah. In karma yoga, we work in a particular way and offer the result to Krishna. You do your duty, you offer the result to Krishna. Surrender comes later, gradually. If you keep doing this, because we're still doing work for ourselves, but we're just giving the result to Krishna. In Bhakti Yoga, the surrender comes first. When the surrender comes first, you have nothing to satisfy our senses. Okay, so we are doing everything for Krishna's senses, for Krishna's pleasure. In that way, we are willing to do anything and everything. We don't have a preference. Okay, whatever Krishna, whatever instruction is given to us through our Guru, and we take that as this is what Krishna's will, and we want to do that. So that is Bhakti Yoga. So the process of surrender, it comes at the end of Karma Yoga. You go Karma Yoga, you surrender, and then Bhakti Yoga starts. So that's how. Okay, so and Bhakti Yoga also, like if you take Karma Yoga, you could be doing a lot of things. You can be doing so many kind of duties. All right, the worldly duties, okay, so-called worldly duties. But Bhakti Yoga, another difference is this, whereby Bhakti Yoga means there could be many services, but Prahlad Maharaj has spoken about particular 9 kinds of devotional service. Anybody can recall what are those? Maybe the first 3 will do, or 5. Okay, let's see the seasoned ones. Yes, hearing, Shravanam. When we hear, what do? We say, right? We repeat, right? What do you call that? Kirtanam. So when you keep doing this, Shravanam, Kirtanam, what is the impact in your mind? When you keep hearing something, when you keep repeating that, what happens to your mind? What happens to your memory? Remembering, exactly, okay? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. Okay, so these 3 top 3. So this is Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means got 9 devotional activities. So this is the difference, Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Okay, right. So Karma Yoga basically work, and offer the results to Krishna. Okay, so it offers something, maybe entire thing or part of it. So that's Karma Yoga. Okay, right. In chapter 12, this chapter 12 has more information of devotional service. So you all have gone to level 1. So it will take some time for us to go to level 2, chapter 12. So if you have time, you can read that also. You can see the differences. Okay, now this verse is also a revision. Let me have somebody to read. Somasundara Prabhu.
Work done, Nishaka Karma Yoga, work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction. And in that way, you will always remain free from bondage.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So now Krishna is entering Nishkama Karma Yoga. So you all can follow the flow, right? So it's important, yeah, don't get lost in the journey. Okay, all right. So Nishkama Karma Yoga. Here Krishna defined what is it. Work done has to be done as a sacrifice to Vishnu. Otherwise, it causes bondage. Okay, this is called working in detached manner. Okay, therefore, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction, and in that way, you will always remain free from bondage. This is Nishkama Karma Yoga. Okay, the philosophy is basic. Perform duty without detachment. Why? Because we want to release ourselves from bondage. Why? Because of this bondage, we are in this material world. Okay, so what is the problem if we are in this material world? We have 4 problems: birth, old age, disease, and death. It's okay, we all have one life. Can we say that? No, because of the impressions that we create on our subtle body, that we carry out through our entire life, you're gonna get that particular set of senses and body in the next life. So No matter how high birth we get or low birth, these 4 problems always follow us. Okay, so an intelligent person, a realized person would want to stop this cycle of repeated cycle of birth and death. So always go back to the bottom line of the purpose of Bhagavad Gita, purpose of this life. Okay, so all starts with work, 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 offer the results to Krishna. If you do not do that, you are bound to the reactions. So this is a very important sloka. Now we're going to go and look at the 2 images that we did in level 1, and we have somebody to take us through. Okay, Dasaradan Prabhu, welcome. Should I open both pictures? Dasaradan Prabhu? Prabhu, you've gone MIA. Oh, Prabhu got disconnected, I think. Prabhu, you're here?
Mataji, can you hear me?
Yes, now can.
Okay, I'm really sorry, my line was bad just now.
Okay, I guessed it.
Okay.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah, sure. So, Mataji, Hare Krishna to all. Nishkama Karma Yoga means selfless or desireless actions, which means doing the duty without expecting the fruits. So in simple words, the Nishkama Karma Yoga here refers to no bondage to the fruitive actions. So free from the bondage in the verse 3.9 means that we are free from the cycle of rebirth. Thus, we have to keep moving and do our work by surrendering the results or the actions to God, so we can free ourselves from the cycle of the rebirth. In 3.9, it is also stated that we must have the conscious that we do work for the Lord. We should regard the work done as a sacrifice for the Lord Vishnu without desiring for the fruits of your actions. To explain further, there are certainly 2 tools used as examples for further explanation of this verse. So the first example is the knife. So knife on the hand of a murderer or a convict person will be a sin. It is because he will use the knife as an instrument to kill or harm lives of the people, or engage himself in any form of the sinful activities. Whereas knife on the hand of the surgeons or the medical teams can save lives and incur no harm to the mankind. So the consequence of the usage of knife on these 2 categories of the people will be punishment for the killer and rewards for the operation surgeons. So the second example will be the usage of the gun. So gun on the hand of the terrorists may result in miseries, as they may kill the innocent lives. So they will use the gun for their own self-interest, whereas gun on the hand of the army can save the nation from the attack of the terrorists and bring peace to the nation. So armies will use the gun for the benefits of others, not for their own self-interest. So to conclude, these 2 instruments given to the right categories of people can bring benefits to the humankind. So meanwhile, instruments given to the wrong categories of the people, like the terrorists or the murderer, can result in miseries and harms to the humankind. So conclusively, the punishment for the killer and the terrorists, rewards for the operation surgeons or the armies. So the punishment will be for those who are doing the wrong things, and the rewards for those who are doing the right thing. So thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, so let's everybody thank Dasaradan Prabhu. It was a very last minute thing I gave to Prabhu, and he did it very nicely. Okay, so you can compare. It's the same tool, right? Same tool in 2 different kind of group of people. Same tool in the hand of a robber or convict, or in the hand of surgeon. Gun, also same thing, in the hand of a terrorist or in the hand of a soldier. In this case, right, in all these 4 pictures, everybody is doing work. Okay, it's the choice is between you want to do the work for the pleasure of ourselves or for the pleasure of Krishna. If we work for the pleasure of ourselves, of our sense gratification, we are going to get reactions. It could be bad, it could be good, all right, it is still reaction. Okay, and reactions is what keep us Reactions are what keeping us? What is the impact of the reactions? Bonded. Anything else? Any other things? Yeah, basically that is it. We are entangled in this material because of the work that we are doing for ourselves, and there are reactions. We are bonded. Bondage to the material world. Very good. And then we are entangled. We try to control, but at the end we are entangled. We try to cut the knots, but we are entangled, more and more entangled. Okay, but when we do service for Krishna, what do we get? Do we get good karma? Or we get pious karma? What do we get? This everybody agree? No karma? Does anyone have different answer? What do we get when we serve Krishna instead of serving our senses? If we serve our senses, we get karma, good karma, bad karma. If we serve Krishna, any other answers? Salah tapa? Yes, Prabhu?
Karma.
Karma, okay. Any other answers? Everybody agree? Agree, I don't know. Can I have all thumbs up if you all agree? If not, thumbs down. You all know how to put thumbs up? This is a nice way for me to get undi. And I also can see who is in the class. Who's not in the class? Nama saja ada. Okay, I saw Saras Mataji, I saw Jay, I saw Prasanna Mataji. How about the rest? Got thumbs up, got thumbs down? Okay, good, good, good. Okay, I'm still not hearing from one or two. I don't know if they are there. Okay, good, thank you. Thank you for the responses, everyone. Okay, so it is our karma. That is the whole idea, isn't it? We don't want to create any good or bad karma. Okay, you purify whatever is remaining, purify, and then ada lagi balance, just surrender to Krishna. He's going to save us from all the reactions because that's what he promised. Okay, all right. So just like a doctor using a knife, soldiers using gun, they are rewarded. They are not going to get any reactions from the government. Okay, right. The terrorists and convicts, they do bad works. They give a lot of troubles to people. They get a lot of reactions for their work. Okay, so this is a good example. Try to share with somebody, with your, you may have a circle of friends with like-minded, then you can share all this information. These two different work using same tool. Okay, so we are done with Nishkama Karma Yoga. What is the next segment? We are transitioning from Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. Oh, we got another half an hour. Okay, I have to rush through. Okay, from Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. So Karma Kanda, I'm sure you know already. Karma Yoga also you know already. Okay, if one cannot perform detached, so you can see this is like a repeating of what Krishna has already mentioned in chapter 2. So this is not something new. Probably Krishna is just elaborating for better clarification. If you cannot perform detached, beautiful work, it is better to follow Karma Kanda section of Vedas. So if you can't, you are not a detached person, you still want to enjoy the fruit of your work. What is the point? I do work when there is nothing in it for me. So if you are a person like that, then you just follow what has been given in the Vedic injunction instead of following our own whims. Okay. All right. So you can still do all these activities, but do it consciously. You just do it for the Krishna's pleasure. All right. All the Vedic duties which prescribe sacrifices. These are all what is contained in the Vedas. So if you remember, was it last week, the 4 well story? So 1 well to wash clothes, 1 well to water the plant, another well to cook, another well for some other things. But if you have one flowing river, all your purposes are fulfilled. So the idea of learning Vedas is to understand the person behind it, the purpose behind it. If you know who is the person behind it, you can go on doing this. This is summary of this segment 310 to 316. So now we will look at the verses. Dasradhan Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Verse 3.10, translation. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods along with sacrifices for Vishnu and blessed them by saying, Be thou happy by this yagya sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation.
Very good. Thank you, Prabhu. So remember in chapter 2, how did Krishna speak on Karma Kanda? I hope I can pick a name. Kritika Mataji. Do you remember how Krishna used Karma Kanda to teach Arjuna in chapter 2?
In chapter 2, he mentioned that is it when he wanted to refute the three necessity reasons?
Yes, yes.
He said, yeah, so he said that you're not supposed, I mean, if you think that you're going to lose your enjoyment and you're so fearful of sinful reactions, don't worry, because you can still fight and you can actually enjoy the fruitive action. Sorry, I'm not very good in explaining.
Okay. Now let me help you. There are two things that Krishna said to comfort Arjuna. The enjoyment, two kinds of enjoyment. Can you link it?
Materialistic enjoyment.
Okay, Vijay Prabhu, you want to continue? How?
I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, but
It's okay.
Krishna advised Arjuna, even though he lost, he can enjoy his enjoyment. He can enjoy his enjoyment in heaven. Even he win in a battlefield, he still can enjoy the materialistic life.
The kingdom. Okay,
Yeah,
very
the
good.
kingdom. So if for the first stage, Krishna want to pacify Arjuna, or he want to make Arjuna to fight by advising Arjuna to fight, so he can later on he can enjoy all the kingdoms, the pleasures, all which is the materialistic. Then after that only he slowly come to the karma yoga, which is don't do the duty for the fruitive life, do it for Krishna.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yes. Okay. So thank you, Kritika Mataji and Vijay Prabhu. Okay, so now I'm going to bring you back to this slide here. Remember, Krishna said here, I mean, this summary of this segment is, if you cannot do karma yoga, you can do karma kanda activities. Okay. So now the part here, but do it for Krishna's pleasure. This is what this verse is talking about. So Krishna is telling from in the beginning of the time, he sent forth the humans and also the guidelines how to perform sacrifices. Okay, because who's providing all the needs in this material world? So many devas, sufficient water, sufficient sunlight, sufficient heat, some air, what else? Soil, some nice conducive environment for our crops to grow. Okay, because we are reaping the benefit to sustain ourselves. Okay, now let's look. So apparently God has said, Krishna has said, be thou happy by this sacrifice, because by performing this, it will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. Okay, so sacrifice. This sacrifice has been this. I mean, how to perform the sacrifices? The guidelines have been given in the Vedas. Okay, now let's look at the subsequent. Yeah, then you will understand. We have to cover one more sloka, then you will understand where this is coming about. Okay, let's go back to Jay Mataji.
Okay. 3.11. The demigods, being pleased by sacrifices, will also please you, and thus, by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all.
Okay, so thank you, Mataji. So remember, we are taking a lot of things from the nature and we need to give them back something in gratitude. So when you have this give and take, this exchange, it will provide a harmonious environment okay, to the agents that providing us the material benefits, okay. All right, and that way prosperity will reign for all. Okay, remember this, yeah. Sacrifices, we are getting things from the nature, we are performing sacrifices, and in return they will benefit us. Okay, now how this is done, it is called cycle of sacrifice, covered in level 1. If you have gone through your PDF, you will know what is this about. So look at this picture while we get somebody to read. Sarus Mataji, would you like to read the translation? Kritika Mataji.
All living bodies subsist on food grains, which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yajna, sacrifice, and yajna is born of prescribed duties.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So look at this last line. Yajna is born of prescribed duties. Everybody has their duties. When you perform that, that is yajna. Okay, so now let's go back here. All living bodies subsist on food grains which are produced from rains. Okay, this is general, right? Rains are produced by performance of yajna. Now, how many of us can do this yajna in our daily life? To say thanks to all the devas? We can't. I can't. I can't even do once in a year. Okay, the last yajna was when I was carrying my child. Is a pregnancy yajna. That was like 13 years ago. After that, I never took part. Oh yeah, I took part in a Brahmana initiation yajna. That's like last December after 12 years. Right, so how often can we perform this yajna? So the yajna that Krishna is talking here is born of prescribed duties, the performance of your duties. So when you perform this yajna, okay, those days we do this yajna very often. People did this yajna very often. Okay, so you have to have qualified Brahmana, pure mantras chanted by pure Brahmanas who had an exemplary lifestyle, and you have the purest ingredients and the purest environment, and you can invoke the devas in the yajna. So such yajnas will bring forth rain. And when rain comes, the crops are cultivated very nicely. You get the nice quality grains, crops. Okay, so this is the cycle of sacrifice. So when you get rain, you got food, and with that you do the yajna, and then you get your rain again, and then you get your crops nicely. So this is cycle of sacrifice. So the relationship between yajna and providing the needs to the people. This is this picture about. Right, so this is karma kanda. We are doing things for the things that we need. We stay on the land, we need the grains, we eat the grains, animals also eat grains. Okay, so we all need this. Okay, so householders will engage brahmanas, the brahmanas will come do the yajna, but how far it's practical in today's world, it's the challenge. Okay, so this way people also will cooperate. This is previously lah. Okay, people will cooperate and they will produce. They will perform yajna, produce rain and grain. Now, what happens if we do not do this? Okay, I think while we are at this, I can also share how different people can do sacrifices, because Kasthuri Mataji already said we cannot do yajna because we are not qualified, we are not Brahmana. So what we can do? Okay, let's see 5 kind of people, 5 kind of sacrifices that we can do. Okay, this is karma kanda, yeah, this is karma kanda. Okay, for devas, we do fire sacrifices. Okay, number 2, sages. How do we perform sacrifice for sages? Remember, the sages, they write books, right? They write scriptures. So how you perform sacrifice to them, how you say thanks to them? You read that scriptures. That is offering your sacrifice to the sages. That is how you offer respect to them. Okay, number 3, to our forefathers. How do we perform sacrifice to our forefathers? We perform oblations, pinda, offering of pinda. So this is how we show our gratitude to them. Tarpanam, right? Tarpanam. Is Tarpanam happens every year? Tarpanam is only
be done every Amavasya, Mataji.
every Amavasya. Okay, okay. So yes. Okay. Yeah. So whichever that is prescribed in the Veda. So if you get a nice person to, translate to you, advise to you, that person also should be qualified and make sure that things are done correctly. This is for people in general, yeah, people in general. I'm not recommending you all to do this because you all are listening to Gita, and if you are doing your chanting, you're doing your service, Krishna said that is like watering the root. So it won't be necessary for us in long run. But these are for people who are following karma kanda activities. So there are 5 kinds of sacrifices. Remember, we can reap some enjoyments, but it has to be done right, correctly. This is what this verse is about, being done correctly. Okay, so we have done devas, we have done sages, we have done forefathers. Okay, Pinda. Number 4 is actually for forefathers also, right? We can actually on their any prayers that you do, right? You can actually cook, right? And you offer to Krishna, and then you mix back all the food into our big the quantity that we cooked, right? And you take some and put the padayal, right? We do the padayal, right? And that padayal, right, it's for your forefathers, the departed souls. Okay, that will benefit them because probably they are still in their subtle body. Okay, they have not moved on, or probably they would have moved on. That soul is moving on, right? So it will benefit that soul. Okay, now that food, after you have offered to the forefathers or the departed souls, we are not supposed to take it because we don't know in what kind of body they are in. So we don't want that reactions to us. Okay, we can only take Krishna's prasadam. So what do you do with that kind of food? You don't throw it. You put for animals, some birds, animals, some pets. Okay, you can give them. All right. Okay, so for humans, you feed guests. Okay, yes, Prabhu, correct. You feed guests, you invite people over, you feed them. Okay, and animals, they give the bird food, all that, right? You can do that also. People can do. Okay, for us, we want to serve Krishna, so we take the shortcut. If the soul is say more than 3 years, is praying to Krishna first still applicable, Mataji? Yes, soul is eternal. Soul is eternal. But I know if you have gone through the Garuda Purana seminar in our YouTube, I don't know if you all attended, even previously also that Prabhu has had Garuda Purana talk. I don't know how many of you all have come across that announcement, and I hope some of you have attended. If you have missed it, it's on our Gita Gyan YouTube channel. So please go there and watch this Garuda Purana talk. I'm sure there's a lot of question and answer also. Whatever you want to know, it's there. Okay, how to do the rituals and what happens to the soul when it's departs from the body, the journey to Yamaloka, all the Viraja river story, all will come there. Prabhu will explain based on Garuda Purana. So please, you can go into that if you like that kind of topic. Okay, so yes, you can always pray to them. You can put a ghee lamp for them and you can offer food. Okay, praise is always there because the soul is eternal. Okay, very good. Thank you, Mataji. So in this age, right, we can't, having said all these things, right, there's 5 activities, 5 different types of sacrifices, right? We can't perform all of this in practical. Okay, we may have some challenges. So the best way is everybody can do in your own room, at your own chair, in your own house, in your own living room, everywhere, even when you're walking, is called Sankirtana Yajna. So this yajna is recommended in Kali Yuga because the kind of lifestyle that we all have. Okay, so that is the best yajna. Pitru dosham. What is Pitru dosham? Dosham is the reactions, right? The curse of forefathers, is it? How do you translate that, Prabhu? I'm afraid I'll translate it wrongly. So when we do service for Krishna, right? It is said that, 7 generations before, 7 generations after us will be delivered. So what is the best help that we can give to the departed souls from our family is us being a good devotee. Okay, we may think our father and mother, they are not becoming devotees, our children is not becoming our devotees. But the best way, I asked this question to my Guru Maharaj, and he said the best way is for you to be a good devotee. Because by you being a good devotee, you will deliver them. And this is the best gift that you can give them. You can not possibly materially pay back to them, but this is the way you can deliver them. And what could be the best deliverance? Deliver them from repeated birth cycle and death, repeated birth cycle of birth and death. Okay, all right, so let's move on. Yeah, we have a lot more to go. Okay, so if you do not perform this yagya, what happens is that this will happen. Okay, Kritika Mataji.
My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice, thus established by the Vedas, certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for the satisfaction of the senses, such a person lives in vain.
Okay, so this is what happens if you do not perform sacrifices, do not say thanks. Okay, all right. So those who don't follow the Veda, they're only interested in taking and taking and taking from the nature and serving the senses, their whole life will be sinful because they're not paying back. All right. All right. So all their activity, all other activity that they think they are doing correct is meaningless. Okay. So life is just wasted like that. They will lead a sinful life. They are called thieves, right? Because they don't follow scriptures and they engage in sinful activities. Okay, so even if you want to enjoy, if you want to have enjoyment, the Vedas have provided you the avenue how to enjoy it correctly. All right, let's move on. Okay, so this is an important segment here. Nishkama karma. Why even great personalities perform this? Krishna will explain that. Dutifully acting without attachment sets the correct example for others who are less advanced. So generally what we call, who are these less advanced people? Maybe they are less cultured people, or maybe they are less educated, or not so well versed in scriptural or spiritual activities. So they always look up to people who are their leaders. Okay, could be the king, could be the spiritual leaders. Okay, so they all look up to their king. What the king is doing, what the ministers are doing, right, or what the politicians are doing, that is what the normal people will follow. So it is very important for these people in these positions to show the examples, even if it is not necessary for them to do it. Okay, now let's see the example given here is King Janaka. Who is King Janaka? King Janaka is Sita Devi's father. Okay, can we have somebody to read this? Lakshmi Mataji.
Kings such as Janaka attained perfection solely by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work.
All right, thank you, Mataji. So King Janaka, he does not have to do things to get pious credits or whatsoever, but he was teaching his people how to do detached work. Apparently, he was a very charitable person. He has given charity so much that everybody in his country has received charity from him somewhere or other. That everyone would get charity from him. So he was very kind and charitable. And at the same time, he also protected his people from evil. Okay, so Janaka, why Krishna showed Janaka as an example? Okay, he doesn't have to do his prescribed duties. He doesn't have to, he's a very elevated soul, but he lived by showing examples. So the people who look up to him also follow his example. So similarly, Krishna wants Arjuna also do the same thing. You set the right example. You may not have to do this, but if you do this, people will follow your right example. And if you behave differently, then people also gonna follow you. Oh, Arjuna has done, Arjuna is Krishna's friend. He has done it, Krishna has allowed him. So I also can do this. So it will become like that. So this is one example. Okay, another one. This is a very important verse. This has been done in level 1. Sivaranjani Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So it is also an important need for you to perform your duties, because people's nature is to follow a leader. Okay, so Lord Ram has given some nice examples. People want to follow his footsteps. People want to follow, who is this? Who knows who's this person on the left?
Abraham.
Abraham Lincoln. Okay, so what did he do that people followed him? Anybody can recall? What did he do that people followed him? I don't know why they put the picture here. Okay, like Mahatma Gandhi, he did, yeah. Mahatma Gandhi, what did Mahatma Gandhi do that people followed? He wore khadi, right? Cotton. They didn't want to use any of this British made manufactured clothes. They spun their own clothes. So what he did? Yeah, ahimsa. So when he wore khadi cotton, everybody also followed. So about Nelson Mandela, I'm not so sure what did he do that people followed. But generally, the example they're trying to give here is that whatever example that leaders or idols they do, common people will follow. If the favorite actor engage in lots of violences on the screen, the followers also will follow. Yes or no? Do they think, oh no, the actor is doing something wrong, we shouldn't follow? No, people don't discriminate, people just follow. Yes, apartheid system. Yeah. So if everybody knows what kind of position they have in the society and what kind of impact they will have on people's lives, and if they know this verse, right, whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, everybody will be very mindful about what they're doing, how they're behaving, how they're speaking. Yeah, otherwise they're gonna create unnecessary fans. Okay, all right, so this is an example. Krishna said this is very important for great people to set good example. Okay, because when they are influential, because now we have new terms, right? Influencers. Of course, yes, Mataji, a father has to lead by example, not by just words. Do as I say, not as I do. We don't follow that. We don't want to follow that. Because children do not hear what you say. Children see what you do. Okay? I mean, ideally, that's how it should be. Right? Yes. Not only father, mother, elders also like that. Okay? Right. So as I was saying, yeah, so we have this term influencers. And they are paying these influencers to review certain items. And then when they go on their media and they say, okay, this product is good, you all can buy. You know how many buyers, consumers they bring to that seller, right? So you see how important is it? You don't misuse the position that you have to mislead people. All right. But now the problem, yeah, so you can see how they like a great artist or great entertainer or great influencer. If they say something, you just follow, blindly follow. People don't really see who are actually great people, who are truly the great people are. Okay, we rarely do that. So what we can do is we can be a good leader or good idol to people who are dependent on us. We can do that. Okay, if you're a boss in the company, you have to lead through example, not just point and ask them to do things. You have to show them how things to be done. Okay. Okay, let's move on quickly. Yeah. Okay, so here Krishna is giving himself as an example. Can we have somebody to read? Somasundram Prabhu.
O son of Partha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor have I a need to obtain anything, and yet I am engaged in prescribed duties.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So you can see from the small, Krishna and Balaram, they themselves received a guru, Sandipani guru. They have done that because who wants to be a guru to Supreme Lord? The Supreme Lord doesn't need a guru. But why Krishna showed this example is from child, everybody must go to a proper learning process. This is what he's teaching us. You have to go through a proper learning process. You have to accept a guru and you have to learn under guidance of a good spiritual teacher. So this is the example that Krishna has set since he was small. So later on, when Krishna became a king, he performed all the activities in a way that he makes sure that he shows good examples to people. He says he doesn't need anything and he doesn't have a need to obtain anything. yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. So he's giving himself as an example. So he says here, let me read this for you, yeah. For if I ever fail to engage in carefully performing prescribed duties, O Partha, certainly all men would follow my path. You can see that Krishna has lifted Govardhana hill. Nobody is doing that. But when Krishna has done rasa dance with the lords of gopis and he married so many queens, people want to follow that. But they fail to see that Krishna has actually lifted Govardhan hill. Why nobody is lifting that? Krishna has killed so many evil asuras. Why nobody is doing that? Only certain things that they think they want to follow, pick and choose, they are following that. So that's not supposed to be that way. Okay. So here you can see this place here. One day Narada Muni visited Krishna. Okay, Narada Muni is in a position of a spiritual master, but Krishna is a supreme Lord. So what is the need for Krishna to welcome Narada Muni to his own asan? And he welcomed him nicely, I think, by washing his feet as well. So here Krishna is showing how you should welcome a spiritual master, or how you must receive a Brahmana. This he showed by welcoming the Sudama friend. Anybody doesn't know who is Sudama? Sudama is a very famous story whereby Krishna's long lost childhood friend came to Krishna because in need of money. He was so poor, he needed money. They don't even have milk for the kid, no food. So the wife says, Sudama, my husband, please go and seek some friends, some help from your friend Krishna. He's a king in his country. So Sudama went and Krishna invited him over, washed his hands and legs, and he served him with such a beautiful hospitality. So this example, Krishna is showing how to receive guests. So like this, Krishna is doing. He doesn't have to do it. He may have a lot of maidservants to do the job, but Krishna is doing that. Okay, so this is actually a small story where Narada Muni visited Lord Krishna places Dwaraka, and he saw how Krishna was doing so many things. Okay, he was at one palace he was talking to his queens, another palace he was playing with the queen, and here he's he's in a, I think it's like a court kind of thing. He's as a king, he's solving a case, and then another palace he's playing with his children. Okay, so Prabhupada has shared that they only found one yogi who were able to be present at 8 different places, but he was only doing one thing. If he's eating at one place, then all the other 8 places also he's eating. But in this case, in Krishna's situation, he was present in all 16,108 palaces and doing varieties of activities. So all this, how Krishna performs his duties. So this is a summary of Krishna's daily activities. Vijay Prabhu, could you read for us, please? Dasarathan Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Daily activities of the Lord Krishna. In the early hours of the morning, Lord Krishna would rise from bed and bathe himself in clear water. Immediately sits down and meditate on himself. After that, he would offer oblations into the sacred fire, chant the Gayatri mantra, worship and pay tribute to the demigods, sages and forefathers, and offer respect to learned brahmanas. Then he would touch auspicious substances, decorate himself with celestial ornaments. His next duty was to give cows in charity to the brahmanas. Every day, Lord Krishna used to give many groups of 13,084 cows. His next duty was to please all kinds of men belonging to the different castes, both in the city and within the palace compound. Then the Lord would go to the assembly house known as Sudharma. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So this is a summary of Krishna's activities here. Okay, so Krishna says here, what happens if he doesn't perform his duties? If I did not perform prescribed duties, all these worlds would be put to ruination. I would be the cause of creating unwanted population, and I would thereby destroy the peace of all living beings. So this is the destruction of family tradition that Arjuna was talking, but not in the way that Arjuna was perceiving it. This is the actual ruination that Krishna can see if Arjuna does not perform his duty. So this verse shows that Varna Shankara means unwanted population. It is not caused by not fighting. It is caused by, It is not caused by fighting. It is caused by not fighting. Can understand? Huh? Is the Varna Sankara is caused by not fighting, but not by fighting. By fighting, you are not going to cause the unwanted population. By not fighting, you're going to cause unwanted population because the earth is burdened with bad people. Now, if you don't fight and kill these bad people going to give birth to bad people. So this is how bad progeny will come. This is how unwanted population will come about. Okay, not by you killing the man of the family, and the woman will go into abusive situation and they will give birth to unwanted population. That is not Krishna's argument. Krishna is seeing it this way. Okay. All right. So can we have somebody to read this?
Mataji,
Yeah.
yeah, about the previous one that we doing our duty to destroy evil.
Mm-hmm.
Just after the war ended,
Mm-hmm.
just because under Krishna's leadership, entire Kaurava clan was destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
After that, Gandhari, the mother of all Kauravas, cursed Krishna.
Okay.
Why? If like that means just because we did our dharma, why still we got like the parents cursing, their parents cursing us, that kind of thing? How we gonna prevent that?
Well, that's why Krishna said that actually how the curse will affect Krishna is all his pastimes only. So I'm not very clear about what was the exact curse that Gandhari put on Krishna, but I think it should be out of maternal love that all her sons died, right? So it could be because of that. I think there should be an explanation, Prabhu. Like right now, I really don't know how to, what happens after that. We can find out.
So if, for example, if we destroy the evils, so after the evil, if we know the what's the purpose, so we don't need to mind about other people's reaction, right? To be
Yes,
honest.
that's right. That's the whole thing about, right? Arjuna is worried about sinful reactions, but Krishna is refuting that by explaining all this, why he should not be worried about it. Because his fight is dharma. His is righteous fight, and he's doing it for the right purpose. So if you do not fight, yes, so
Which means the purpose is right, there's no problem with destruction at all.
in this case, yes, in this context, in this Mahabharata war, that is the right thing. Okay, like for example, I think 2 weeks ago, I said one story whereby somebody was not able to highlight a person's fraudulent activity because he's worried about what happens if he get caught and his family, he's going to lose job and he has to feed his family. So because of that artificial compassion for this person, that person did not highlight the fraudulent act in his normal duty. He's an auditor, by right, he should have highlighted that. But because of his compassion for this person on a personal basis, he also got caught when external auditor comes in and all of them got expelled. So for a better cause, you need to do your duty. You know it's going to harm somebody in some way, but that is your duty. You have to perform it. If your duty say you have to highlight fraudulent act, then you have to do it. So if, let's say you do it, and then the wife is going to tell, oh, because of you, my husband lost my job, I curse you. I think it doesn't make sense, right? He's just done his duty. Yes, if he doesn't do duty, then he had made a sinful action, that he did not perform his duty properly. Can we relate it that way, Prabhu?
Yeah, Mataji, I understand.
Yeah, okay. So I always think like that. Good thing that this has happened in real life, so I know who is this people. So I felt I could relate it that way. Okay, sometimes we are so we think that we want to give them a chance, keep giving them a chance, but they are not learning the lesson. So we just have to do what is right, right? And it also helps for them. If you could have done it earlier, the person wouldn't have continued doing it. Okay, we could have saved them also in that way. Okay, so let's move on. Yeah, we have a few more. Okay, Prabhu, could you read this sloka, please? The translation.
The meaning, Mataji?
Yes.
Therefore, O Arjuna, surrendering all your works unto me, with full knowledge of me, without desire for profit, with no claims to proprietorship, and free from lethargy, fight.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. So you see this picture here, a person, presumably a cashier, he's handing a lot of money here. He's receiving the money, but he is receiving the money on behalf of the company. And he knows that I'm receiving it in my hand, but it does not belong to me. We are just the worker. The money belongs to the company or the bank. So from Bhagavad Gita, we learn that we do not have any claim for proprietorship. Everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. So Krishna is advising Arjuna, therefore, surrender all your works to me. Okay, basically surrender all the your actions to me and just fight. Just do your duty as I have instructed you. Okay, you do not claim the proprietorship or the fruits of it, and free from lethargy. Don't have all these perplexities. Okay, and you fight. Just do your duty. So we seem to be handling a lot of things and we think we are the owner. Actually, we are not. We are just doing things on behalf of Krishna as his instrument. So later in chapter 18, Krishna will tell Arjuna, just be my instrument and execute this. He will say, Nimitta matram, I think this is the word, Nimitta matram, be my instrument. Okay, it's not like because Arjuna is not there, Krishna cannot do. It's not like that. Krishna is using us to perform activities. So it's only right for us to surrender the result to Krishna. Okay, so this is a summary. I'm going to just put it here so you can look at it. How Arjuna's Sasdi reasons refuted by Krishna. Okay, this is not in the original slide, so I just put it for you here and we don't have time to go through that. Okay. So this is what we have covered today. Okay, Yagya for Vishnu, cycle of sacrifice. Knowledge, doing work with knowledge and surrender results to Krishna. That is Nishkama Karma Yoga. So that concludes our Karma Yoga chapter. So fight. So tomorrow we don't go fight. We do our work, we do our duties, and we surrender the result to Krishna. Okay, so that's for today. And again, at the end of every class, I would like to request everybody to start chanting, because when you start chanting, sometimes the revelation becomes quicker. Okay, so not everything we can gain by academically study philosophy. Otherwise, it's just going to be a jnana yoga only. So you have to incorporate bhakti service to Krishna in our daily activities. Okay, so soon I will be asking if you are able to start chanting already or if you have any challenges. So please share with me and see what I can do to, help you or support you. All right, so next week we have chapter 4, transcendental knowledge about Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yeah, actually, I actually, Karma Yoga is very important for us, for people like us, working people, because we not 24/7 we can engage in devotional service. Of course, that is good, all right, but we start from here. If you see the Astanga Yoga ladder, the bottom two is yama and niyama, do's and don'ts. So it starts there. Okay, it starts there, your activity. Okay, so we will look at knowledge about the ancient story of Bhagavad Gita. All that we'll cover next week, and how to approach a spiritual master. I hope that is still fresh in your mind. Okay, so that's about it. 9:14. So sorry, the Baba's already. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Any questions?
Mataji, I have a question.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Mataji, in your statement today, you said we shouldn't expect for good karma or bad karma. And then according to the karma, we should do the prescribed duty without expecting the fruits of action.
Okay.
Yeah. But during the battlefield, Krishna himself told Arjuna, fight. If you die, you go to heaven. If you don't die, if you win, you enjoy the benefits of the kingdom. You get to enjoy. Isn't that expecting the fruits of action of Arjuna?
Okay. Dasaradan Prabhu. Prabhu left already. Okay, were you here just now, Prabhu, when Dasadhar Prabhu did the knife story?
Yeah, Mataji, I was there, but
Yeah. So Prabhu made a he linked this. Initially, it may sound Krishna is encouraging Arjuna to perform based on fruitive results, because earlier Arjuna's reason was no enjoyment, right? So Krishna is coming from the karma kanda angle to tell Arjuna, don't worry, you fight, you die, you go to heavenly kingdom and you enjoy that, the benefits, the facilities there. But if you win here on the earthly planet, you will enjoy the kingdom. But later on, Krishna is telling Arjuna, however, if you perform your activities without having attachment on the result, no reactions will come upon you. In either way, no sinful reactions will come upon you, whether you follow karma kanda or karma yoga. If you do not fight, then you will have sinful reactions. So there's two ways Krishna is giving recommendation to Arjuna. So he's taking him from karma kanda, advancing to karma yoga. So you have to go from there, Prabhu. The first step was karma kanda, okay? And then Krishna brings Arjuna to karma yoga. And that is where Arjuna thinks, I better renounce and go. Actually, it's not. You cannot prematurely renounce. You do your activity, but it's just the attachment to the result you have to let go. So you will not have result. You can understand the flow, right, Prabhu? Initially, it was karma kanda recommended to Arjuna, but Krishna took him to karma yoga. That is the next step.
sorry, Mataji, I understood the first half. He told Arjuna to fight. Either he enjoys heaven or he enjoys in the world. And then he takes him to where, Mataji? Sorry.
To karma yoga. Karma yoga means doing your work with the knowledge that you are just a servant, and by detaching your mind from the fruit. And that way your reaction will be zero. We are not talking about heavenly planets. We are not talking about your kingdom enjoyment. We are not talking about that already in karma yoga. Your reaction will be zero. That is the path that Krishna is taking Arjuna and us towards that path. Understand, Prabhu? So there's two things, yeah, karma kanda and karma yoga. Karma kanda is enjoying through the activities. So in either way, you die or you live, you are having enjoyment. So there is no loss of enjoyment for you there. However, if you do karma yoga, you will not have any reactions. Is it
Thank
okay?
you, Mataji.
Not so clear, is it? Oh, I might not.
Okay.
Yeah.
But why my question is, why Krishna has to mention
Karma
that
kanda.
in the beginning? Yeah. Why
Yes.
not straight away explain about karma yoga straight away instead of isn't it a bit of misleading or giving him some hope?
Okay. So now you see CES. So there is the second reason Arjuna raised was enjoyment. So Krishna is using karma kanda to address the enjoyment. Now, the third one is sinful reactions. This is where Krishna is bringing karma yoga. So he's refuting the, wait, Prabhu, I bring back the slide. He's refuting the Sasdi one by one. Okay, can you see this? No enjoyment even is victorious. So he's using karma kanda to explain. When Arjuna is worried about sinful reaction, then you see fight for the sake of duty, no reactions will come upon you. So you need to try to read the purport, Prabhu, you would understand. You try to read the purport, you will be able to see how Prabhupada explains bringing it seemingly, the word used is Krishna seemingly used a very material point of view to refute Arjuna's loss of enjoyment reason. However, that that doesn't end there. He has to do his activity without expecting any result, and therefore he will not be affected by the sinful reactions. So actually, I also had your perspective, Prabhu, some time back. Why is not straight to the point? But I realized Krishna is taking Arjuna step by step. First, he have to address the enjoyment issue first, and then he's going to issue the reactions issue. So two things. Okay, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let me see if I can better explanation I will share with you. But I definitely see this is how Krishna tried to play around with Arjuna's enjoyment point to address him first. In either way, you will still get your enjoyment. Okay. And then you go to actually better than that is not having a reaction at all. And how to do that? Do your activity without being attached to the result. So that's the explanation, Prabhu.
Thank
But
you,
then-
Mataji.
Yeah, I will try to get something and share with you. If you're still not able to understand, just share with me which part of it that you think could really satisfy you. So let's talk about that offline. Okay, and anything else? Thank you, everyone. Good night. Sorry, Prabhu, if I'm not able to answer you yet. Let me try to find some more information for you. But that's the answer actually.
Mataji,
Yes, Mataji.
I have a question, but then it's not specifically related to karma yoga. But then earlier we were talking about Darpanam, right? I've always had this question.
Mhm.
We have learned that it's a cycle, birth and death, right?
Mhm.
So if a soul, the moment it dies, it goes to another body, right?
Mhm.
So we have that at one point, and then another side is giving Darpanam. So I was just confused, like there is Pitru Loka, and then there's also your journey to the to meet the Yama, and then there's also the part that we are giving Darpanam. So I was just wondering, like, where is the soul actually like
Whether it's
traveling?
in the Pitraloka or in another body, all right?
Yeah, and also the timeline, like how fast does it actually go to another body? Because we are still giving Darpanam even after like many years, and there's also this journey where the soul goes to meet the Yama. So I'm actually very confused about this whole journey of the soul.
Yeah, I remember Prabhu, Yaduraj Prabhu mentioned all this timeline in the Garuda Purana series, Mataji, but I don't know which part of it. He definitely has mentioned how long it will take. And I think the journey and the timing is not same for everyone based on their reactions, their karmic reactions. So I don't think it's pretty standard, but generally he has given some timeline there, Mataji. So I think the Pitraloka, it should be something like after you die, you go to Pitraloka, so probably enjoy from some amount of time, and then you come back and transmigrate to another body on a material planet. But anyway, the Pitraloka is also material planet, but I just don't know what are the activities in Pitraloka. That I'm not so sure.
Maybe time is like the relevance of time is different. Maybe Pitraloka la வந்து 1 year is different in
Yeah, it's definitely like in Brahma Loka, time goes by very fast, right? For us, it's like a trillion years. For Lord Brahma, I think few minutes or few hours is for us like 1 year, like how we saw the Krishna's cow pastime. So it's like that. So I don't know, as you go higher, the timing gets different. That I'm not so sure. But I just recommend you to go through the Garuda Purana. The timeline is there. So if you have further questions, then I think Prabhu is that expert in this field.
Okay, Mataji. It's just I had this one confusion only because Arjuna said that, oh, if everyone died already, who's going to give Darpan? But then I was thinking, but everyone already go to another body, right? So who's actually receiving the Darpan? Is it even necessary in the first place? So that's all, Mataji.
Yeah, I think it's transmigrating. The soul is always everywhere, just in different body.
Okay, Mataji, thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, Hare Krishna.